Hello, grade 3 students. This is Miss Namat speaking to you. Today our lesson is about reading Unit 3, Lesson 8, Yonder Mountain, a Cherokee Legend. So, legend is a story passed on to other generation. Let's see. So, this Yonder Mountain, a Cherokee Legend, was written by Robert H. Bushyhead, illustrated by Christina Rodanas, the person who drew all these figures. So I want you to take a good look at this picture. What do you see? Obviously, there are mountains with high peaks covered with mist, the light fog. And this is obviously nature. So we can see trees, herbs everywhere. I want you to think how this figure is related to our title, Yonder Mountain. And is it actually related? Do you see any mountain? So basically, it could be about a tribe, okay? And we're going to discover. Chief Sky has grown too old to lead his people, and he's looking for someone to replace him. What is he looking for in a new chief? Find out by reading this Cherokee folktale. So, this old man, here is Chief Sky, the main character. He's very old. He wants someone else, a young man, to take the leadership. Once in the land of the Cherokee people, there lived a beloved chief called Sky. Chief Sky had seen many summers and winters. He had led his people through long seasons of peace. He had seen their warriors go through great battles with enemies. But now his step was slow, and his hand trembled on the bow. He could no longer spot Brother Deer among the trees. He was no longer able to lead his people. So he was getting so old, and he wanted someone else, a young man, to take the leadership. One day in the season of falling leaves, the chief called 3 young men to him and said, "One of you will take my place and become chief and lead our people. But first, I must put you to the test." Chief Sky turned slowly, looking into the distance. "Do you see yonder mountain?" So Chief Sky wanted to test these 3 young men and asked if they can see the Yonder Mountain, the highest mountain. The 3 young men followed the gaze of their chief and saw a great mountain rising out of the mist in the distance. "Yes," they answered, "we see the mountain." Chief Sky pointed towards the highest peak. "I want you to go to the mountain top. Bring back to me what you find there." So the test is to go up to the mountain top, and bring back whatever they find there. The first young man, called Black Bear, quickly started up the side of the mountain. After the sun reached the middle of the day, Black Bear came to a wide place in the trail where he stopped to rest. He leaned his head upon a rock, and his eyes grew heavy. Just as his eyes were closing, he caught sight of 1,000 lights twinkling in the sun. Black Bear sat up straight and saw stones of great beauty lining each side of the trail. They sparkled and glowed in the sunlight. Black Bear examined a stone, carefully turning it over and over in his hand and watching the sun dance on each surface. "If my people had these stones, they would never be hungry again," he said. "We could trade them for food and our lives would be better." So, the first young man was called Black Bear. When he went up to the mountain, he felt tired on his way. So, while he was resting, he saw some sparkling in the sunlight, some sparkles. So, these were the stones. And he examined these stones carefully to check them out. And he thought of his people. If he could trade these stones, precious stones, for food, no one would be hungry. Black Bear gathered many sparkling stones and ran down the mountain and back to his village. The people saw him coming and lined the path as he entered the village. The children pointed to the sparkling stones and said, "See the pretty stones Black Bear has found." Black Bear handed the stones to Chief Sky and said, "My chief, look what I have found. Beautiful stones. We can trade them for food and will never go hungry. We will be safe through many winters." The chief smiled fondly upon the young man and said, "You have done well, my son. You have done well. Let us now wait for the others." So everyone was waiting for Black Bear in the village, and they saw the sparkling stones, and he immediately went to Chief Sky to show him what he got. And Chief Sky was glad. The second young man, called Gray Wolf, climbed the mountain and went past the place of the sparkling stones. He climbed higher and higher. The trail became steep and rugged. Finally, he came to an open place where he rested beside the trail. He picked an herb, looking closely at its pointed leaves and long roots. "These are the healing plants of our medicine man," he said. "If my people have these herbs and roots, they will no longer be sick and suffer. We could be healed with these plants." Gray Wolf gathered one of each of the plants and hurried down the mountain. So the second young man found healing herbs, herbs that could be used as a medicine to heal people. And he thought of his people in the village, that if he came back with these healing herbs, nobody could be sick or fall ill. So guys, we're going to stop here and continue next time. I hope you practice well on your reading and enjoy these beautiful figures and illustrations. Everything is clear, and see you very soon. Goodbye.